Welcome. We're here in Issaquah today, Pacific Northwest. I think you're gonna like our show. It's the first show, so go easy on us. It's kind of about 10 miles away where I grew up. A lot of development here in Issaquah, a lot of businesses. The guest we have is a small businessman. He works in the legislature. He has family. He cares about labor, and he cares about what's going on in Washington State. And he works at Ben & Jerry's.
See, this is the kind of days, the weather you dream about as an ice cream store owner.
Right.
You got 80 degrees in the morning, it's already getting warm.
Yeah. And I'm ready to eat some ice cream.
Nothing like fresh baked waffle cones in the morning.
Right. I love this. Yeah.
And we can show, you can see where this is the most important thing in a store. It can never go out.
Oh boy.
And that is what a very full walk-in freezer looks like. As you can see, that's a lot of ice cream.
You grew up in Tukwila.
I grew up in Tukwila. Went to Foster High School.
Foster,
yeah,
all right.
Graduated in 1990.
Wow. You know what? I grew up in Renton. I was a Hazen Raisin. Oh, so you know. So are we Generation Xers here or something? I mean, what a great time to grow up in that area, though, right?
No, I loved it. My mom still lives in the house where I grew up. I go back there all the time.
And you're also in the state senate.
Yeah.
So you're doing that commute.
So I go back and forth every day during session. So we're in session those first 4 months of the year. You know, I usually leave Issaquah around 6:15 in the morning. That gets me there. It takes about an hour and 10 minutes. I'm always going against traffic, so that helps. Ways and Means of my last committee, that ends at 6 p.m. So I'm usually home by 7:15 and we eat dinner at 7:30 as a family. And to be honest, the fact that I commute every day makes it more sustainable. So that's actually, I think I couldn't have done it for the last 11 years if I was not seeing my kids, you know, every night.
You know, when we went through COVID and the businesses shut down, and obviously we've talked about your businesses. How did you get through that? I mean, what were the challenges with that? Was it an easy process? Yeah, I imagine it'd be rough.
And I will say the Paycheck Protection Program that the federal government did was actually really, really helpful. And so I didn't have to lay staff off. We kept all the staff on, and we just, we were able to keep paying them. And we ended up being fully closed. All the ice cream stores are fully closed for a month. And we got open right away, like after that. And we just did the best we could.
Back to, what's your favorite ice cream?
I like peanut butter ice cream.
Peanut butter.
Yeah. So down here, well, I don't know. Chocolate peanut butter chunk. Here, I'm going to give you a little sample taste. It'll change your life. Let's see here. See, this is the key. There you go. Man. You can try it. You tell me what you think.
Look at that. Man, I tell you. You know, Mark, the only reason why I came up here is to get some free ice cream.
You're not the only. Hey, it's okay. It's all good.
What is your plan for Washington?
The first thing is I'm giving voters a chance for change. The last 30 years, every governor in the state of Washington has been a lawyer. So as a small business owner, I'm the first one, proven track record of creating jobs. This is the important part, a proven track record of how to balance a budget by finding savings, not raising taxes. And what you learn as a small business owner is if you don't figure out how to find savings and you're always relying on increasing your prices, you will have no customers because they'll just go shop somewhere else. So families are having a hard time paying their bills, they're having a hard time affording housing, and if you don't find a way to make your product affordable, you're not selling your product. And I think that's kind of the mindset change we need in Olympia, which is we're not going to try to solve every problem the state faces by creating a brand new tax.
You're in the governorship. What does that look like for you? What do you want to accomplish? What would you tell our members?
I got two big focuses. First is public safety. Second is affordable housing. You know, public safety, I spent this whole session trying to make sure we didn't decriminalize drugs like Oregon did. I have the endorsements from the police groups, you know. All those endorsements are already on my website. They've been early supporters because they appreciated having a Democrat that was actually willing to listen on the ground and say, hey, my main complaint I hear from families that I represent is they want to make sure they feel safe. And so we can do a lot of things at the state level to support law enforcement, make sure we have safer communities, safer neighborhoods throughout Washington. And on affordable housing, I chair the state construction budget. That's the budget that I write. I think I see firsthand more than anybody how the permit delays, like it just drives up the cost of building all the stuff that we're trying to build. And we need to build a lot of shit in the state. I mean, the state construction budget will do it for a higher ed project, like Bellevue College, is just down the street here, 10 minutes away. They had a building, all the permit delays, it drove up the price by another 10 or $20 million. And so we as a state government have massive room for improvement to say, hey, we want a predictable process that you can get through in a timely fashion. That'll actually help with affordability a lot. So I think making those changes as governor, those are my two big top priorities, and I think it'll actually have a really positive impact for lives of Washington residents in all 39 counties. We want to see improvement in all 39 counties. We want to see just be a Seattle focus. It has to be a statewide focus, and that's what I think we can get right.
So Mark, let's talk about your voting record with labor. That's really important. Of course, we're a labor union, a construction union that represents many different facets. We're basically the finishing trades. So can you talk about that and where you stand with labor?
Yeah.
A lot of our members really want to know that. That's
I want to be really clear. Like when it comes to the building trades unions, I have a 100% voting record supporting their issues in Olympia during my 11 years down there. Yeah. I also have 100% voting record supporting the right to collectively bargain. We've had a lot of different state groups that say, hey, we also want this option. Yeah. And there's a lot of people that say, oh, I support unions, but then when it came to our own legislative staff wanting to collectively bargain, they were like, oh, that sounds crazy. I was like, come on, guys, don't be hypocritical. We support unions, we should support our own legislative staff, be able to do the same. But I really think the focus for me is when you have surplus revenue at the state level, it makes a lot more sense for that money to go in to one-time projects, which are usually either transportation or capital projects, because that's where you're building something that in the future is going to actually generate additional economic activity in our state, which will produce additional tax revenue. What I think is the bad budgeting policy is you have surplus revenue, you create a brand new operating budget program. Well, all you're doing when that one-time money goes away is now you got a program that you got to figure out how to pay for. Well, you're just basically you're forcing new taxes. Yeah. So you want to pay COLAs and fund that stuff, but when you have surplus revenue at the state level like we did during COVID, that's why I fought so hard for the transportation package. I'm like, we should do it on something that's one time, that's actually going to create additional economic opportunity going forward. And I think my alignment with the building trades has always been, this is the best way to invest when we have these budget surpluses that come and go, is invest them in construction projects. That actually will pay dividends for decades in the future. It makes a lot more sense than creating new ongoing operating expenses. I got 6 kids. One of those 6 kids wants to go into computer science. The other 5, they don't have any interest in going into computer science. So this is what the state has to get right. Like, not everyone's going to want to be a computer programmer. And if we don't protect the manufacturing industry in the state, if we don't protect and support the trades and find ways to get more people into the trades, it's not going to be a state where I want all 6 of my kids to feel like they can get a job in the state that they enjoy. I don't want them having to feel they have to move to a different state to get a job. I don't want to have to travel to visit my grandkids. Not that I want any of my kids getting pregnant right now. Let's hope that doesn't happen. 10 years down the road, if that happens, that's awesome. But I think we have to make sure this state has, I like the tech industry. They buy a lot of pizza and ice cream. So I got nothing against them, but we have to have a lot of other job opportunities available to make sure our kids, no matter what profession they want to go into, they can do it right here in the state of Washington.
With you. You know what? This has been a great time. I'm glad to hang out with you, Mark.
Hey, thanks for coming by. You're welcome to come back anytime.
So I think we will. I think during the campaign, we'll come out and spend some time with you. How about that?
That works.
All right, thank you.
Let's do it.
Look at that. Excellent. Thanks for coming along with us today. Appreciate it. You're making some good ice cream there, baby. All right.
If I get up here, welcome Issaquah first show guest ice cream. You're close. I mean, yeah. You got 5 things. I know. It's okay.
All right.
Yeah. You and this cow.
Gotta
It's gonna
relax.
be great.
You just gotta relax. The cows relax, so I can't relax.
It's all right.
All right.
This is how this works.
Come on, help me. I already ate.
We got plenty for the blooper roll now. You're doing great, man. You really are.